Hey, what the heck are you guys doing? We have a show to do, remember?
Relax, the kids just want to see beta footage, and that's what I'm getting them.
Yeah, that's why we have plenty of time to pick up the milk. Later, Mom.
Well, I, for one, aim to keep my job after all of this, so, I don't know, give me a call when the internet goes down, or whenever you have time.
Yeah, so I'll see you later.
This is like...
Well, once again, it's just us again. Alone. But by now, every single one of you should have had a chance to download the beta for yourselves, and if you haven't, WTF, mate. But have no worries, we still have 2 more episodes in us, so we're here to make sure that no stone is left unturned, no map is left unexplored, and no game type goes unplayed. Heck, I'm even sure once we pull the kids away from the TV, we'll talk about a few weapons, or maybe they might surprise us with a map or two. Who knows? The night is young. But before we jump into what is already out, let's talk about what is in. Classes. Take a look. For years now, Halo has been a juggernaut in the online world of console online shooters, but as the years have moved on, so have many of the games. Not content with just a standard loadout for all, many of the new titles of recent memory have slowly started integrating classes into the online arena. As to stay as up-to-date as possible, Halo Reach is doing just that with the introduction of equipment and weapon loadouts. But is this really something new to the franchise, or is it something redefined? If you take a step back and look at the history of Halo, you might notice that the class structure has always been there, right in front of us. When Halo first launched, the multiplayer world was limited to just your friends on a couch or in the next room. It was a perfect way for fanatics to get their feet wet, plus learn the ropes of the Halo weapon and gameplay mechanics. But once players sustained longer hours of Slayer locally, they started to discover that there were many more facets to the game in terms of versatility. The assault rifle and pistol were great starting weapons, but once teams got involved, one might find that they were more suited for possibly scouting. They would find a safe spot on Blood Gulch with their sniper rifle and pick off any would-be attackers from their flag spawn. Likewise, the same defender could grab a shotgun and camp in their base. Either way, the option to pick your class was clearly built into the Halo franchise since day one.
Flag return.
With the additional launch of Halo 2, the need for designated classes became an even higher priority for teams online. With the built-in friends list, players could now play with like-minded players across the world. It was much easier to find a skilled driver who would help deliver a bomb or an all-around group of skilled foot soldiers. But it wasn't until Halo 3, with the introduction of equipment, that things really started to take shape. With Halo's equipment, it was much easier for a player to outfit their personal playstyle. The online space suddenly became right full of tank busters and fly swatters, players who would make it their sole duty to take down an enemy vehicle. Bubble shields helped flesh out more of a defense class, and regenerators actually created a support one as well. And now, with Reach, the entire idea has finally come to fruition. Was this Bungie's goal from the beginning, or did they just create a game that offered different playstyles for different players? It really doesn't matter at this point because now we have the Reach beta and the class-based aspect has become fully realized. To talk more about that, here are 2 dorks who barely deserve jobs. Jerks!
Jerks? He must have been talking to you. Go ahead.
God, I hate you. So by now you've sunk your teeth into the beta. You know every nook and cranny of Sword Base and Powerhouse, but that doesn't mean we're finished here. Let's start with character rank and customization.
Alright, Halo 3 featured a decent amount of character customization, but it was nothing compared to this. Here's how it works. You play a match, you do awesome, and you're awarded appropriate credits that move you towards your next military rank.
You can't lose these points. If you play enough, you will eventually rank up. This is important to customization because some of the pieces of armor that you can put on your Spartan require certain ranks before you can purchase them.
That's right, and you purchase these pieces of armor using your hard-earned credits. On top of just piling up your credits by playing Reach instead of, say, going to work or school, there are commendations that you can get by performing various in-game tasks. These commendations will award you larger chunks of credits.
The best way to learn about these is to head over to Bungie.net, link your gamer tag to that site, and scan through your commendations, your game history, and just enjoy all those pretty colors.
That is really something.
Now your constantly climbing rank clearly doesn't represent your actual skill. Reach matchmaking is using a true skill system behind the scenes to find you good matches, so you don't have to stress about that number next to your name not being 50 anymore.
Bungie said that we're just getting a little taste of the customization possibilities in the beta, so who knows what we'll be seeing when the full game comes out. Could be custom leg armor.
Custom knuckles?
Custom cod pieces?
Custom cod pieces.
It bears mention here that if you're wary of putting on those big World of Warcraft looking shoulders, or you don't want a flashlight and a camera on your helmet because it'll make you an easier target in SWAT, all the armor variants are cosmetic only. They don't affect your character's hitbox, so go spend those credits. The beta's not going to last forever. You may as well look good while it's here.
Alright, that's enough dress-up talk. Today we want to discuss the game type stockpile. Stockpile is as if CTF and territories had a beautiful baby. 3 flags spawn in, and your team's goal is to bring as many of them back to your home territory.
Here's the twist, though. When you look at the bases, you'll see a countdown. At the end of that countdown, you're awarded points for how many flags you have in your territory, and then the timer resets. This is important because it adds an element of defense.
Yep, not only do you have to retrieve these flags, you have to make sure that they stay put until that counter runs out. Because someone like you-know-who may come along and make it his goal to throw all the flags you've capped outside of the base right when the timer runs out, effectively preventing you from scoring.
Hey, you big meanie, come on, you're on.
Already? Wow, time sure flies when you're being a jerk. Assassinations, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Assassinations are seriously my new drug now that I've gotten used to holding down the melee button. It is a great way to really rub someone's nose in it. You do have to be behind someone to assassinate them, but you can do this in the air, which results in a pretty awesome body slam.
But you do have to be careful when you're doing this because it does make you an easy target for a moment while you eviscerate someone.
You know what other melee trick I like?
Yes.
Oh.
Gah, go ahead.
Yes, I like melee clashing. 2 perfectly timed melees will actually thump against each other. You can even block a sword lunge with your arm if you time it just right. It is hilarious to watch the sword guy sit around and wonder what the hell just happened when you beat him down.
Jeez, you are really mean today.
Thank you, Hutch. That's the nicest thing you've ever said to me.
All right, lovers, let's keep this thing moving. The armor ability of choice today is Armor Lock. It's a personal favorite of mine.
I don't know why, I hate it.
That's why you're going to be quiet during this part. Armor Lock is a tricky ability because it can be dramatically misused. Unlike Sprint and Jetpack, which are pretty much useful at any point in a game, Armor Lock requires finesse. Here's how it works. You activate this ability, and as long as you hold the button down, you are completely invulnerable. You can release it at any time and be back in action, but if you hold it down for long enough, it will eventually run out and an EMP burst will erupt that drops all the shields around you.
Now, I like to use it by myself a few seconds right before I die in the hope that my teammates will come and rescue me.
I've also found this to be incredibly useful in CTF games on defense. There is no better way to return a flag than to activate Armor Lock while you're standing on it. If your team's on the ball, this ability is devastating.
And you do know what else is devastating. Explosives.
Nice seg.
Silence!
Go on, I'm listening.
Before we get out of here, let's talk weapons for just a sec. There are 2 new launchers in the game, the Covenant Plasma Launcher and the UNSC Grenade Launcher. The Plasma Launcher is my all-new nightmare. Some of you guys should have already run into it on Sword Base. You can find this little ditty in the middle of the center bridge in case you haven't tried it out yet, but you should. I highly recommend it.
This launcher fires plasma grenades, and on top of that, they can track targets. The way you use this thing, in case you pick it up at some point, is you can pull the trigger and just fire plasma grenades, or you can hold the trigger down, point the launcher at somebody, and it'll lock onto them.
The longer you hold the trigger, the more grenades you fire up, which is a max of 4, and I've seen this thing turn corners. It's scary.
That gun is awesome.
The second launcher is the UNSC Grenade Launcher. This works like a standard noob tube as we're all familiar with, but it also has a twist.
Yep, if and when you fire the grenade launcher, you keep the trigger held down, and the grenade will not detonate until you release the trigger. This creates a sort of remote mine. You'll be able to find this thing in the rape shower on Powerhouse.
The what?
The rape shower.
Oh yeah, I know where that's at. I think we're done here though, right? Anybody else got anything they want to say?
Oh, okay. Spread it out.
I just want to remind everyone that in between matches you need to back out of the stats page to vote for the next map and game type. Otherwise, we'll be playing one flag on Powerhouse 20 times a night. Please, Spartans, make your voice heard.
That was actually
really well said.
not bad for a pink guy.